Hello, and welcome to Junior Achievement of Tampa Bay's Finance Park Virtual Teacher Training. We are so excited to have you participate in this program as we help students prepare to be successful in their financial futures. JA Finance Park helps students build a foundation upon which they can make intelligent financial decisions that last a lifetime, including decisions related to income, expenses, savings, and credit. The experience culminates in a hands-on, online budgeting simulation. Students will be introduced to the concept of adulting and will create a monthly budget based on a randomly assigned life persona. This training will cover the new user management system, the JA Finance Park entry-level self-guided curriculum, and a quick look at the new virtual simulation. If you have your JA Finance Park self-guided curriculum program brief, now is a great time to take it out and follow along. There is a lot of important information that we will cover, and it may help to take notes as we move through it. The JA Finance Park program has 4 components to it. The teacher training provides you with a better understanding of the self-guided lessons and virtual simulation. The self-guided curriculum provides the lessons to teach the students everything they need to know to be successful during their virtual simulation. Next is the JA Finance Park virtual simulation, where the students put what they have learned to use. The program concludes with a debriefing activity where the students will reflect on the program and what they have learned. Before we begin, let's start off with the basics. The first thing to remember is that the curriculum is entirely self-guided. Students can complete it at their own pace. It is housed on our JA Connect learning platform, which we will talk about soon. The lessons can be assigned as homework or completed in school. It is entirely up to you as the teacher. The student workbook is also housed online, and the pages have been converted to PDF fillable worksheets. Students can download and save these worksheets and then return to you if desired. The second thing to remember is that the simulation is also entirely virtual. Students can also complete the simulation at their own pace, and once again, it can be done at home or in school. The curriculum consists of 4 units: the simulation, and last, a quick debriefing activity. Income, Unit 1, focuses on students rating their interests and skills, work preferences, taxes, and net monthly income. Unit 2 is savings, investing, and risk management. In this unit, students focus on short-term and long-term savings, risk, Roth IRAs, compound interest, and insurance. Unit 3 is debit and credit. In this unit, students will learn about financial institutions, advantages and disadvantages of credit and debit, and credit scores. The last unit is budget. Students will learn the importance of spending wisely and how to create and use a budget. The 4 self-guided units are housed on the user management system and the JA Connect learning platform. Each unit can be completed in 45 to 65 minutes, depending on the student. Let's take a look at how you can access this site. We have created one-page directions for all instructions you are about to see and hear. Here we have a view of the User Management System, or the UMS. Each educator will create their own username and password to access this site. This personalized username and password is done through JA Engage. Instructions to do this will be shared with you once you are registered. Once your username and password is set up, you will visit access.ja.org. After you log in, this will be your home page. You will see a list of each class you are associated with in the center. You may have multiple classes here. For example, if you have 4 periods of social studies, you may have 4 classes listed here. The UMS is linked directly to the JA Connect learning platform. This is where you will locate the self-guided curriculum. There is a link in the top left corner that will take you directly to the JA Connect learning platform. Let's follow that link and I'll show you around. Here is your view of the JA Connect learning platform. This site is where you will spend most of your time. On the left side, under My JA Courses, you will click on Capstone and a list of classes will appear. These will be the same classes that appear on the UMS. This is where you will find the curriculum. You will also see a link for JA Finance Park program resources. This is where you will find additional resources you may want to use, including PowerPoint presentations and links that correspond to the curriculum. First, we'll check out the curriculum by clicking on one of the classes. After choosing a class, you will be directed to this page. The left column shows all of the units and lessons that the students will complete prior to the simulation. Each session contains the following components: on-screen presentations with interactive and instructional content, which take about 5 to 10 minutes each, volunteer videos presented by national volunteers, each lasting about 2 to 3 minutes, and student activity pages. Students can download these PDF worksheets and submit them as an assignment if desired. The self-guided curriculum will automatically save where you leave off. Students and educators can sign out, and when you sign back in, it will show you what you have already completed and what you have not. You will also see that Unit 5 is the simulation. When your students are finishing up Units 3 and 4, you should contact me and we will begin to select a date range for your students to complete the simulation. The simulation can be active for 1 day only or multiple days if you prefer to pace the students as they go through it. Let's take a few steps back and talk about the student access. Shown here is once again the UMS. The link for this is access.ja.org. Students will need to be uploaded into the UMS. JA staff will be releasing a step-by-step guide on how to do this, but let's walk through it together here. One thing to know is that you will need to create an Excel sheet with the students' first and last names and email addresses if possible. JA staff will send out an Excel template for this step. When you are ready, you will first click the Edit button for your class. That will take you to the screen shown here. Select Enroll and choose Student. From there, you should click Import and choose the Excel file you created earlier with the students' first and last names and email addresses. Once uploaded, be sure to click Finish Enrollment. If you do not, the students will not be saved into the UMS. There is another way to enroll students, but I suggest using this method only if you have a few students who were not included on the original Excel sheet. You can simply type in the first and last names of the student, as well as their email address, and click Enroll. Again, be sure to click Finish Enrollment before you close this pop-up window. Now to the subject I'm sure you're all wondering about. What happens if a student does not have a personal email address, or they prefer not to give it out? That is okay. If a student does not provide you with an email address, the system will generate a fake one for them to use. Each fake email address will look like these: JA student with a number at juniorachievement.org. And each fake email address will have the same password. Password 123 exclamation point. So when it comes to uploading students with no email address, here's what you should do. When you are creating the Excel sheet, simply leave the column for their email address blank. And if you are importing a few students at a time, simply check the box for no email. Now that we have covered where to access the curriculum and how to import students, we need to quickly discuss how to export students. They need to know what their email address is to sign in. If students have given you their personal email address, they already have their username. But the students who are using a fake email address do not. Back to the UMS home screen. Click Edit and then choose Export Students. This will prompt you to download an Excel sheet. When opened, the Excel sheet will show each student with their corresponding email address, which is their username. You can then disperse this information to your students. If you prefer, there is a document to help with this step. On the JA Connect learning platform, you'll see a link for the Student Quick Start Guide. This is a one-page document you can give to your students with instructions on how to log into the curriculum and what their login credentials are. Once you and your students are ready to start the simulation, JA staff will share the URL with you. Once here, students and teachers will click Login. Choose the last option to sign in. At this time, you will also be provided with login information for the students to access the Junior Achievement Career app, which will allow the students to take an assessment and explore careers that align with their interests. Teachers will use the email address and password created through JA Engage, while students will use either their personal email or the fake one generated by the system. The first time teachers and students log in, you will have to allow the system access and then agree to the privacy policy. Let's take a look at the student view first. Students will choose their avatar, answer a series of budgeting questions, select their interests, and will then be directed to their randomly assigned life scenario. Students will be directed to calculate their net monthly income by paying their taxes. Now that students have their net monthly income, they will create their budget. Each budget category will have a suggested range for students to stay within. If a student tries to budget outside of the range, the simulation will tell them, and they will have to readjust before saving their budget. They are then introduced to their guide, Jimmy, who will show them a few details about the park and how to navigate the simulation. The park will then be open for them to look around and prepare to put their budget to the test. Students are free to go in and out of the storefronts in any order they wish. As the students go inside a store, they will first read about the importance of that category and will then scroll down to reveal the different options they have to purchase. Students will make their decision and then continue on to pay for that item. They can choose to pay with their checking account or their credit card. The difference between these two is covered in the curriculum. There is one important piece of information that you should be sure to share with your students. Once they make a purchase, they cannot return it. They need to be 100% sure that they can afford that item. After completing all of their shopping, students will finish with a summary report, which will be saved within the simulation. Now that you have seen the student view, let's take a quick look at the teacher view. The teacher view is quite different. There is no need for teachers to have access to the park, so when you log in, you will see this page. There are 4 tabs at the top, and we'll go through each one briefly. First is Messages. This is where you might see messages from your students if they have a question about something. You can then send a message directly to JA staff for assistance if needed. The Students tab is next. This is where you can see each student's career and how far they currently are in the simulation. Third is the Reporting tab, where you can gather reports when students finish. And last is the Simulation Management tab. You can click on a simulation for more details, including the start and end date of the simulation. The main feature of this tab, though, is the pause function. Now that you have watched the teacher training, the next step is to sign up for a virtual teacher training wrap-up hosted through Zoom. If you are a Hillsborough County public school teacher, please visit Ideas to sign up for one of the scheduled sessions, and the Zoom information will be shared with you at that point. All other teachers, please email me directly to sign up for a date, and I will give you the Zoom information through email. All right, I know that was a lot of information, but just remember that once you begin this process, you will become comfortable with it pretty quickly. Just remember to take it a few steps at a time and to reach out to JA staff if you encounter any issues or have questions. Write down the contact information on your screen and keep it somewhere safe for easy access. Thank you for taking this time out of your day to learn about the JA Finance Park virtual simulation. Junior Achievement is so excited to roll out this virtual program, and we look forward to working with each of you to start this process.